Hello everybody and welcome to my video on Rescue-Ace. Decade leaked this pack a few weeks ago and it's set to be released in the October selection pack. I've seen comments on my videos suggesting it will be available on the October 9th or 10th, and please keep in mind that this information is a leak, so take it with a grain of salt. However, Decade has been accurate the last 6 months of leaks, so I trust him on this one. One thing to note is that we won't be receiving the entire archetype all at once. It's still missing some of its most powerful cards that pushed it into a tournament topper. Expect an update video in the future once the archetype is fully released. In this video, I'll explain how the archetype plays, delve into the mechanics of important individual cards, showcase a combo with the deck, and conclude with a clip of all the cards in the deck for your reference. But before we dive into all of that, please consider leaving a like on the video if you find this information helpful today, and don't forget to subscribe for more leaked decks and guides in the future. Let's get into it. Rescue-Ace is a mid-ranged archetype that focuses on using monsters effects to set up powerful traps and quick play spells that interrupt your opponent. The monsters also have numerous effects that activate when the opponent performs specific actions, such as searching and special summoning, discouraging them from doing these actions. With a substantial number of cards that can special summon themselves, swarming the field becomes relatively easy. Due to this and the diverse level range, the deck relies heavily on link monsters. This variant I'm running here is using an Aurora online to set up powerful negates alongside the Rescue Aces. I decided to run a more scaled back Auroradon kit as I didn't want to introduce too many bricks into the deck. You can categorize the archetype's monsters into 2 groups. First, there are cards that can special summon themselves when we summon a Rescue Ace, and second, there are cards that contribute themselves either on the field or in hand to special summon another monster. Turbulence and Hydrant are the exceptions, as they have entirely different type of effects. Let's examine the most crucial individual cards, starting with Rescue-Ace Hydrant. This little guy has 3 effects. It can't be targeted by attacks or card effects if we control another Rescue-Ace. It allows us to use a Rescue-Ace spell or trap on the turn it was set, and it lets us search another Rescue-Ace from the deck. Many of our spells and traps gain additional effects when Hydrant is on the field, so keeping Hydrant around is essential. In fact, it's such a pivotal starter for the deck that we run a lot of cards dedicated to finding it. Pyrrhi's Map and 1-for-1, for example. Next up is Rescue-Ace Airlifter, which has 2 effects. If it's normal summoned, we can add a Rescue-Ace spell from the deck to our hand, and additionally, when our opponent activates a monster effect on the field, we can tribute Airlifter to special summon a Rescue-Ace from the hand. This card is crucial in our combos, mainly for its search effect. The tribute effect is situational and requires another viable Rescue-Ace in hand. Next up is Fire Attacker, and it also has 2 effects. It can special summon itself when another Rescue-Ace is summoned, and if a card is added to our opponent's hand, we can draw 2 and discard 1. We typically end with Fire Attacker on the field, and the draw 2 effect is a strong deterrent against the opponent searching. Fire Engine is another monster with 2 effects. The first is the same as Fire Attacker, allowing a special summon. The second effect activates when our opponent special summons a monster, allowing us to revive a Rescue-Ace from the graveyard. While Fire Attacker's effect is generally more favorable, Fire Engine also has its merits. Turbulence, the main deck boss monster, has 3 potent effects. It can special summon itself by banishing 2 Rescue Aces from the graveyard. Then during our main phase, it allows us to set up to 4 different Rescue Ace quick play spells or traps directly from our deck. Furthermore, if another card we control leaves the field due to an opponent's card effect, we can pop a card on the field. And this card is unquestionably fantastic. Its ability to special summon itself using any Rescue Ace card, not just monsters, simplifies the setup we need. We gain a significant advantage from the second effect alone, because of the spells and traps it sets are so powerful. To top it off, we can destroy one of our opponent's stuff if they remove our cards. All of the Rescue Ace spells and traps are considered Rescue Ace cards, even though they don't have Rescue Ace in their name. This information is here to avoid repeating myself over and over when talking about them. Alert is a quick play spell and allows us to add 1 Rescue-Ace monster from our graveyard to our hand. If we control Hydrant, we can add from the deck instead. While it may seem like a basic rote at first glance, this quick play spell can be very effectively set up with Turbulence and then used on our opponent's turn. Rescue is another versatile quick play spell. It targets a Rescue-Ace in the graveyard and then special summons it. And if we control Hydrant, we can special summon a monster from the opponent's graveyard instead. And obviously, this spell is great. It offers much more than just a monster reborn effect. It can be used during the opponent's turn, and it can be used to steal strong monsters from the opponent's graveyard if they make the mistake of discarding one. Rescue-Ace HQ is the field spell for the deck and has 3 effects. It increases the attack of our Rescue-Aces by 500 if the opponent controls a monster. It allows us to normal summon an additional time provided it's a Rescue-Ace monster. Lastly, we can shuffle 4 Rescue-Ace cards from the graveyard or banished pile into the deck to draw a card. And the extra normal summon is the primary reason why this card is so important, but the additional effects are certainly welcome. Moving on to the traps, both of them require us to control a Rescue-Ace to activate their effects. Contain serves as a targeted negate and prevents the targeted monster from attacking. If we control Hydrant, we gain a no material-like effect, preventing the card from being used as material for extra deck summons. And this is another excellent card that can be easily set up using Turbulence. Extinguish allows us to target an effect monster the opponent controls and then just destroy it. If we control Hydrant though, it adds a Called by the Grave-like effect, preventing the opponent from using that card's effect during their turn and any card that shares that name. This trap combines removal with Called by the Grave, making it an impressive addition to the deck. And that wraps up the important cards in the main deck. Remember that you can check the end of the video for a list of all the cards and their names. And in the extra deck we have pretty standard stuff, a lot of synchros to work with the Roardon and a bunch of links to set up other plays. But you'll see that all in action when we jump into the combo. Alright, here is the combo for Rescue-Ace, and for this combo we will need Hydrant and HQ in hand along with 1 card to discard. We're gonna start with Rescue-Ace HQ and then normal summon Hydrant, using the extra normal summon we gain from the field spell. We're gonna activate Hydrant's effect to search out Airlifter, and then we're gonna normal summon it. Activate Airlifter, and Alert. Alert lets us add a Rescue-Ace from the deck, and we're gonna add Turbulence. Then we go into the extra deck and we go for Barricade Borg Blocker to get a machine on the field, and then we activate Turbulence, banishing Alert and the Airlifter. And then we activate its effect, and then we can set 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Crazy. It's such a silly effect just being able to set 4 cards directly from the deck. But anyway, we go into Roardon, activate its effect, set 1, 2, 3, activate Roardon again, tribute itself and a token for O-Lion. Then we take O-Lion and a token to go into Axel Synchron. Activate O-Lion's effect to get back a token. Activate Axel Synchron's effect to dump Jet Synchron and decrease the level by 1. Take Axel Synchron and a token to go into FA Dawn Dragster. This is a repeatable spell and trap negate. Then we activate Jet Synchron, discard 1, summon that back, and then set up a Herald of the Archetype, which is another negate. So all in all, that's 1 negate on Herald, 3 negates on FA Dawn Dragster, Contain is a monster negate, and Extinguish is a monster pop. Next turn we can do Rescue and Alert, summon back the Hydrant from the grave, and then grab a Fire Attacker from the deck that will allow us to draw 2 and discard 1 if our opponent searches stuff. We can just look. This is against a bot with a very basic deck, so it's not going to do anything very interesting, but at least I can show you how this works. So we would want to start with Alert to have that chain 1, and then activate the Rescue, so we summon up the Hydrant and have the Hydrant on the field for when Alert kicks off. You can then add Fire Attacker. Fire Attacker effect is going to activate and then summon itself to the field. And this is our basic like turn 1.5 board. But that should give you a pretty good overview of what the Rescue-Ace archetype can do. There are different plays you can make where you don't go into Auroradon, instead you leave all of your Rescue-Aces on the field, the Turbulence, the Fire Hydrant and the Airlifter, and then you also go into Fire Attacker on the next turn. But with that, I'm gonna thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, you guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye.